hydropower is the largest of the renewable energy technologies around the world. In terms of worldwide electricity generation, hydropower contributes to 16% of global energy generation, which is a pretty large percentage in terms of renewables.
And what are the kind of projections? How much bigger can hydropower get?
Hydropower is expected to continue growing over the course of the next decades, and its contribution is increasingly important in terms of balancing other renewable energy technologies that are increasingly coming online, as well as its role in adaptation. So hydropower is set to continue growing.
And give us an idea of some of the issues that you've been talking about with people here about hydropower, because it can be quite a controversial source of electricity and it does impact on local communities. But why don't you just give us an idea about some of the conversations that you've been having with people at this conference?
Okay. Well, IHA's mission is advancing sustainable hydropower. So we believe that hydropower, when it's developed sustainably in terms of balancing economic, environmental, and social considerations, can have a very important role to play in providing electricity and increasing electricity, the quality of electricity as well. Some of the conversations we've been having here at COP are about ensuring people understand that role of hydropower in terms of not just electricity generation, but also its role in climate change adaptation through the water and the reservoir. That water management role of hydropower is very important in terms of climate change adaptation.
And are there concerns as rainfall becomes more erratic, and the projections are that if the world continues to warm, there will be heavier rain in one area and less in another? Are there concerns that actually hydropower will become less effective because you won't be able to be as sure about the levels of water that will be arriving in your particular dam?
Well, global climate change models don't predict a global impact. Those impacts are more at a localized level and will have to be monitored. However, the role of the infrastructure, that water storage that hydropower can provide is very important in helping to manage the impacts and respond to the impacts of more erratic rainfall patterns around the globe. So I think that that is quite poorly understood, that storage in a reservoir is quite important in terms of helping to balance out the potential impacts of climate change in the future.
And to what extent are we going to see sort of future hydropower projects? Are we going to see sort of humongous ones like the Three Gorges, or is there more potential to have smaller, I guess, microgeneration hydropower projects around the world? How do you see that kind of balance mapping out?
Well, I think hydropower development needs to be done in a way that fits with the local needs or the regional or country-specific needs. So we definitely believe that hydropower at any scale is important, from large to small, so long as it's developed sustainably and fits with the local region's development goals.
And you talk about that sort of sustainable development. Is there enough? Are there enough regulations in place for big hydropower projects around the world? Is there a sort of global sort of set of regulations? Because we hear about the Three Gorges Dam and we hear about Belo in Brazil, and there is a lot of increasingly negative publicity against these super dams. So from your point of view, from the IHA's point of view, is there enough? Would you like to see more regulations put in place before dams are built?
Well, the International Hydropower Association has developed a tool in conjunction with a broad range of partners and stakeholders called the Hydropower Sustainability Assessment Protocol. Now, this tool is designed specifically to help project developers, communities, governments around the world in different regions who might be operating within different national development and regulatory regimes, help them to establish a common framework and a common language and tools to help guide and measure the sustainability of hydropower. So we believe that this tool is something that can be quite useful both within strong regulatory systems and in areas that perhaps have a little more work to do in that area.